What does success mean to you?
I think success for me is being able to leave work at a time that I can spend some time with my kids. At the end of the day, as a business, the food has to be top notch. So yeah, I'd say it's food first and then vibe second. We don't allow laptops on weekends. So on a weekend, you cannot take your laptop to JVC or us.
You're not allowed. Like, if I get my laptop, I'm not allowed.
I think I started it because I didn't want to, it's about what I didn't want to be more than what I did want to be. I didn't want to be sitting behind a desk for the next 20, 30 years. I hope that they know me just as who I am, not as the owner of a restaurant. You know, it has a billionaire owner who's just like willing to lose millions every year, which I'm not that.
So I remember my first experience with One Life was in D3,
Right.
and because my workspace is in the same used to be in the same building as One Life, so I was working in the fifth floor, and then few of my colleagues introduced me to One Life, and it was such a cool space to be in. I mean, such a friendly vibe. It has got an aura of its own.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's very few places in Dubai that you find such places with, like, like that kind of environment and aura that I was speaking about. So I just wanted to know, like, why One Life? That's my first question, and how One Life?
Explain the second part.
All right.
I'll answer the
So
first part.
why did we keep the name One Life,
Yeah.
and why, and how did you think, about starting it, and
Okay.
and where did the idea come from?
So the idea, now you're taking me back 11 years, maybe more. 2014, end of 2014, I left my job. I worked in a corporate job for about 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to start my own business. And I wanted to start something in food specifically. And I left in order to start a vending machine business. So I wanted to start a business that was selling kind of healthy snacks, salads, sandwiches from vending machines. I wanted to place these vending machines in different buildings across the city, mainly targeting buildings with like lots of residents or office workers, like kind of the high-rise towers. And that was an idea called Tubs.
Right.
Well, I actually had a couple of names. So there was the fridge,
The fridge.
which is kind of interesting
Very
because
innovative.
in Al Sekal now, I think 2 doors down from us or 3 doors down from us is a place called the Fridge, where they do like
Right.
live music events. And I think they were around even back then, or they were around for a long time. And then it was tubs, because the idea was that we would do like layered salads in tubs that you buy in a vending machine, and then you like shake it up and you eat it. And then that idea was kind of I needed a catering company to get me to get to buy the food from in order to do those kind of that business, which was in a vending machine. But what I discovered was like there was no margin in it for us, because once the catering company put their margin
Mm-hmm.
on top of the food cost, for us to sell, it would leave us very little room. So then I said, okay, we'll do our own kitchen and we'll produce for ourselves.
For the same vending machine.
For the same vending machine.
Right.
And it started off as a vending machine business idea. And I don't know if like I had given up on the name, thinking, well, if we're going to be a physical space with a few tables, it wouldn't make sense to call it Tubs, and it wouldn't make sense to call it the Fridge. And so I had a lot of like anxiety about the position I was in. I mean, I was 32, 33 years old.
Mhm.
I had 2 kids, 1 wife, and
Right.
and then now I have 3 kids. I had 1 kid after in 2017. I had 2 kids, and I'm about to start a business. And a lot of people will tell you never go into F&B. It's very difficult. You have no experience. Like with anything you start, like a lot of people will say,
Sure.
"Do you know what you're doing?"
I
And
guess F&B is brutal, right? It's
I mean, I don't know.
people say that it's
I've
like one
not
of the
been
brutal industries.
I've not been in that many different. Like I've only started a business in F&B, so I don't know what it's like in other industries.
Right.
I don't know if I'd say it's brutal. I'd say it's unforgiving. You
Yeah.
can't really there isn't a lot of room for error. People are not well, and some people are tolerant of error, and some people are very intolerant. So in that sense, it can be brutal. And there's obviously a ton of competition. But anyway, at that time, so I had a lot of kind of anxiety around, am I doing the right thing? Is this a good move for me? And then, I just heard the phrase "One Life" in a song somewhere, and at that moment, it kind of like it just spoke to me, and it made me feel like, you know, this is your chance, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and if it does work out, it does, but you'll regret not doing it. So just go for it.
Right.
That's kind of like the state of mind that I was in, and One Life made sense to me, and so it just stuck as a name.
Right. So, but One Life was still a vendor machine business, or
So the idea was we'll start, we'll be a small restaurant cafe, and then once things are settled,
right.
we'll get into the vending machines. And 10 years later, we're still not settled, so we're waiting. No, that's a joke. Actually, I think like after starting it, I realized like the fun part of F&B is the human side of it. So interacting with people they don't come to restaurants, in my belief, like they don't come to restaurants like purely to eat or purely to be fed. I think they want to be taken care of. They want to step out of whatever space they're in. So if you're in your office space in level 5, coming down, you're looking for something different, a different interaction, a different conversation, and to be taken care of for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever you're going to spend on your lunch break. And I think vending machines is a huge challenge to that. Vending machines can only fill this, I need to be fed, give me something quick,
Right.
and I'll go. And I just felt like, I'm also a big believer that you build brands on emotion. It's not just, rational. I fulfill a need, and therefore you're going to choose me, because then I feel anyone who fulfills that need can steal your customers away from you. And maybe I just lost my passion for it. Like I think vending machines was, at the beginning, it seemed like a great idea, and then I just lost interest as One Life started, and I saw you kind of get addicted to that kind of
right.
talking to people. It's a bit like you feel like you're hustling. You're, bring me this or that guy. This guy's waiting for that, and that energy is quite it is quite addictive. And in a vending machine, I think you just wouldn't get that. You stop the vending machine, close the door. At the end of the day, you remove the stuff.
I'll come back to your energy because I have first-hand experienced it.
I feel.
But I just wanted to understand. So you started One Life,
Yeah.
and so you said you love food.
Yeah.
Do you cook as well?
Yeah.
All right. So you started One Life cooking yourself?
No, no.
All right.
I mean, look, that was another kind of misconception or something that I thought, I think I've always thought I'm a good cook. When I was a kid, I started probably cooking at like 10, 11. And then in university, I would cook. And I'd always try to like perfect like a pizza, making a pizza dough from scratch, things like that, or certain dishes. And in my mind, I was able to start One Life and be the main cook or the main chef and just hire a few people. And looking back, that was probably like the most foolish misconception I had, because honestly, like, I mean, a restaurant or a cafe, again, my view is like it needs an actual professional. Like if you want to reach a certain standard of food, it needs someone who's worked in a kitchen, worked with a team, has been to culinary school, not necessarily, but all of these things are advantages. And so I was looking to hire a low level cook or chef to basically execute my ideas and my recipes.
Right.
And then I came across someone who is overqualified, which is Kelvin Kelly, Chef Kelvin
Yes,
Kelly.
yes, yes.
I came across him and he wasn't in my plans. Like his, like I won't say like, for example, his salary expectations was far out, but it was above what I was looking for. And his skill set and his experience was a bit above what I was looking for. But again, his energy was amazing. And he was just, I felt like he was someone who knew more about the industry than I did. He had more experience in the industry than I did, but he didn't. He was not condescending towards me. He was not belittling me and saying like, "Who are you? You don't know what you're doing. I'm gonna teach you everything." So he was someone who respected me from day one. He respected me. I respected him, and I felt like I mean, anyone who works with me will say like, and I was having a conversation with someone this morning. I was like, don't make me feel bad because I change plans. I change plans all the time. So today I say this, tomorrow I say that. Because when I say something, it's never absolute, right? So if I say, hey, we don't need a highly skilled chef, I'm a good cook, it's not absolute. It's like, okay, this is my opinion now that, I kind of have the ability to lead a team.
Yeah, I think it's the flexibility.
Yeah, but then I meet someone who I'm like, okay, this guy knows way more than me.
Yes.
And
Why not?
he's a little bit above my budget, but I feel like investing that little bit more can help me. And in the end, in the long run, like really, if I look back over the last 10, 11 years, I don't know where I'd be if I hadn't made that decision. I think I could be one of those stories that, after 6 months, after 1 year, you could just shut the doors and you say that was a good experiment, a good failed experiment, and I'll move on. I know people like that who, maybe that's the brutal side of F&B that you were mentioning. You enter it and you think, hey, I'm a good cook. People come to my house, they love my food. And there's been a lot of success stories like that. I just saw today, Kinoya is number 2 in the 50 best. And that's how she started. She's a good cook.
Right.
And obviously she also has other people who assisted her and stuff. But you can achieve amazing things as a home cook. But I was not really a home cook. Like I didn't have a supper club and stuff. If I invite friends over, sometimes I cook.
Right.
And maybe if they're listening now, they'd be like, okay, you invited us like 3 times. It wasn't like 50 times I invited them over. But yeah, that was how it started. And I was not the cook, but I do like to cook. I still cook.
So I was going to actually talk about Chef Kelly. So he's been here with you for Kelvin. Kelvin Kelly.
Chef Kelvin.
Chef Kelvin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been with you for 10 years.
10, 11 years. Since the beginning.
Wow. Okay. So what's the inspiration between you both? Or I don't know who does it. So you have to tell me who creates it as well. The menu for One Life.
The menu is pretty, I'd say it's pretty collaborative between us both. I think it's probably changed over the years. I think in the beginning, it might be a bit more like I'll have the beginning of an idea and then he'll turn that into something that actually tastes good. Because my idea, the simplest example is I wanted to put something on the menu that was halloum egg, which was just an egg fried with like halloumi around it. And we were also going to have a shakshuka. And then he said, okay, well, let's put the halloumi in the shakshuka. And we were like, okay, that's better than the halloum egg. Canceled the halloum egg, we made shakshuka. And so that was kind of probably similar to how it was at the beginning. I was very much like control freak. Like I didn't want to, I had a vision in mind. I'd say these days, that's, again, 10 years ago. These days, I think it's more, he has an idea, he makes it, I'll try it, and I'll be like, most of the time I'm like, it's great, let's do it. Sometimes I'll have an idea, I'll tell him, he'll sit with it for a few days, then he'll come up with something, or he'll be like, if he's into it, he'll do a version of it that's kind of, again, better than what I described. It's kind of both of us. And then there's a third element, which is like the customer. So customers, because we're there in the shop, like I'm at the counter, he's at the pass, they'll give us a lot of feedback. They'll give us a lot of ideas. And I think like they might say, oh, you never listen, but sometimes we do listen, or sometimes something comes and, I mean, for example, staff meal now, it's an item which is rice, chicken, French fries with like a sauce. That was because, and he'll expect me to say his name, Cyrus from JVC, saw our staff eating their staff meal. And he was, one of several people, but the main one who said, I want to eat what the staff are eating. And we heard this comment 1, 2, 5, 10 times.
Right.
And we said, you know what, let's do something and we'll call it staff meal. So that's how that came. It wasn't me, it wasn't Kelvin. Again, he took the idea, which is the staff meal that the staff were eating, and he made it into something that was more like commercially viable for us to put on our menu. But it's a very popular dish now.
Right. I have one item on the menu, summer body. How did that come from?
Summer body was also not us, not myself, not Kelvin.
Right.
Several people claim, I've heard 1 or 2 people claim that they came up with it. There was a great manager we had up to 4 or 5 years ago. His name was Samson, moved to the UK now. So Samson had a customer who once they said, I don't want to eat anything from your menu. I want to have chicken, vegetables, and avocado. That's it.
Right.
And then I believe Samson is the one who came up with the name, and he said, I'll give you a summer body because it's healthy. Or it's vegetables and protein and healthy fats when you look at the avocado. And it was selling and selling and selling. So then the first step was we added a button to our POS system, summer body. But it's not on the menu, but the button is there.
Right, okay.
And then you're looking at your sales reports and you're like, summer body is the number 2 selling main, and summer body is the number 1 selling main. You're like, how is an item that's not on the menu the highest seller? So it kind of just spread like, it was a consumer-driven thing. And I think maybe a year ago, 2 years ago.
2 years. 3 years.
3 years ago?
3 years.
3 years ago, we said, okay, you know what, it's moving.
Yeah.
Whether we put it on the menu or not, it's moving. So we just added it to the menu.
Yeah, because when I started eating as One Life, it wasn't there in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you introduced it on your menu.
Yeah.
And I think one of our colleagues must have tasted it. And then the colleagues introduced it to us.
Yeah.
And then after that, my every afternoon go-to wing would be summer body.
Yeah, it's just, it's been there for at least 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 or 8 years, but it's only been on the menu since, I guess, 3 years. But it was moving even when it was not on the menu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's I guess one of the nice things about what we're doing is people feel they own the space. Customers feel they own the space.
Right.
And they feel that they can say, no, I want this, do this for me. This morning, someone was telling me, you removed that from the menu and you changed your French fries and I prefer these ones. And look, it's fantastic because you're able to please people where you can, and sometimes you can't. We had a chicken sandwich in JVC, which was chicken avocado, and then we removed it from the menu to replace it with a chicken par.
Mm-hmm.
And many people complained, and they said, no, we want that back.
And
so first we added it back with not secret, but as in we didn't print it, but we said, okay, if you order it, we'll make it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, it was like a top seller, so we said, okay, add it back.
Okay. Right. So I think that's the magic that you're playing with, right? So you are very customer centric. You take the feedbacks and you go ahead with that, basically.
Always. I mean, there's a filter that you have to go through, right? Like, so I think we'll look at the volume of comments, and sometimes there'll be one or two people who want something. Like, for example, this morning, someone said, no, I prefer the old fries, but many people said they prefer the new fries. So I wouldn't take every comment.
Right. Only like maybe it's like a majority.
There's also like what we believe in, right? So what we believe in and what we want to do and what we feel is good food, or something different. We don't really like want to jump onto trends that much, like when it comes to food, and we have certain things that we'll say, no, that's not for us, like that's not interesting for us,
Right.
and we don't want to do it. And people, no, you should do this, there's a lot of money in acai. And we went into acai, and then we said, you know what, like, it's all sugar, we don't want to do acai, or it's not something that we feel passionate about, and so we don't have acai.
Wow. Okay. So tell me this. Okay. So whenever I used to come to the store, and I used to mostly find you behind the counter, and you have that energy where you're talking to each and every customer.
Yeah.
You're having an interaction with each and every customer that is coming to you ordering food at the counter, and that is throughout. How are you keeping up with that energy? It doesn't take a toll on you?
No, I think, look, there's days where I think I'm not up for it,
Right.
but I feel like being at the counter is like when you have to go to the gym, but you don't want to. But then after 5 minutes, or you want to go for a walk,
or when you have to go for work and you don't want to.
Yeah, and then work's different, because for me, like, it doesn't feel like work.
Okay.
I do enjoy it, but even like, let's say when my energy is low, I haven't slept well, the first 5-10 minutes are a little bit of a difficult time, but then you get into it, and the energy you get from people is unbelievable. So by the end of it, like, I really like our customers. Like, I genuinely think maybe we're lucky that we attract like cool people, but I just like talking to them, and I like joking around with them. And sometimes, my jokes will go over the line, and then I'll like pull back a bit and be like, okay, calm down, don't go crazy. But it's a lot of fun, and I've been doing it for a while now, and I'm not bored of it. And I got into this business because I wanted to get out from like behind the desk, sitting on a laptop all day. So I did that for 9 years. Go into work, sit behind the laptop all day. You can go into meetings, go home. And I think I'm on my feet. I'm talking to people. I'm meeting new people. And that's one of the reasons I got into this business.
And then you get to meet celebrities and athletes and
some people here and there. But like, for the most part, I mean, just the normal people that come in are very interesting in their own right. And the conversations you have are very interesting. So for me, like, I feel like it's a huge benefit to me. Like, I get to do something in my job that's much more interesting than my old job.
True.
And that was also part of my, I didn't start One Life because I wanted to become a millionaire. I think I started it because I didn't want to, it's about what I didn't want to be more than what I did want to be. I didn't want to be sitting behind the desk for the next 20, 30 years and kind of doing something that I didn't find meaning in. Like, I find meaning in what I do now.
Right.
And I didn't find meaning in what I did before. And so when I was working in the corporate world, I would always say to myself, like, I would be okay earning, a quarter of my salary, but doing something for myself, or less than a quarter. And for a long time, I earned less than a quarter of my salary. Even today, the salary that I pay myself at One Life is less than what I was making in my corporate job 11 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, I'm close to it now, but it's still less. So, but I'm completely fine with that, because I enjoy what I do. I feel like I'm building something bigger.
You paid yourself salary? I thought everything was yours.
No, I mean, Kelvin is one of my partners. My wife
So you
is my
got partner,
partner,
right?
and my brother is my partner. So we're four partners.
Right.
But also, like, I mean, I have to pay myself a salary as well. Like,
Uh,
that's, obviously I use that salary. And then if the business generates profits, then that gets distributed as dividends.
I mean, since you started talking about money and everything, uh, like people who want to get into this industry, F&B industry,
Mm.
food industry, who want to start on their own, like, what is that one recommendation or suggestion that you would want to give them? Suppose if they come to you for any kind of advice.
I mean, it's hard to say one thing, but I think one misconception is that it's I genuinely don't really believe I do believe that passive income is something real. Passive income exists. I'm not sure that it exists in FMB. So the idea that you're going to set something up, you'll be there for the first 3 months, then you're going to leave.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that that's either I'm doing it wrong or that's not something viable. And the reason I say either I'm doing it wrong is because I go to the branches. Today I went to two of the branches, and every time you go, you say, guys, we should do this like this, we shouldn't do this like that. There's always some input that I will have on a daily basis, which means if I left for 6 months or 1 year and didn't touch it, like, I do believe that there will be a change in the quality, there will be a change in the standards, and over, the medium term, 3 to 5 years, that means there won't be a business, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, we're living in a place where people have, I don't know if the official number is 9,000 or 12,000 choices when it comes to food, something in the thousands. So if you're choosing to come to us, that means we have to be of a certain standard. And let's say you come to us every day for a year, then you have one bad meal. You'll say, okay, let me try again. You have a second bad meal, third bad. After 3 or 4 bad meals, I don't care. It's not the same One Life. It's not One Life anymore. So I think that if you're getting into F&B, don't think that it's 6 months of work or 1 year of work and then you can chill.
Right.
Get into it if
You're ready.
you want to stay in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a long-term commitment.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So your first One Life was in D3.
Yeah.
Right? And then you expanded to JVC?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first we were small in D3.
All right.
We took a smaller unit,
Mhm.
and that was in 2015. We took it. Then we opened beginning of 16. By the middle of 18, we closed. We took the unit next to us, made a bigger space,
Right.
and opened beginning of 2019. Then 2021, we opened in JVC.
2021. Okay. Okay. I usually I visited JVC once or twice and it was mostly during the weekends.
Yeah.
You have to wait. Like you have to really it's so crowded.
The
during
weekends is quite busy.
Yeah, it's always busy
Yeah.
in the weekends. But this is very interesting because in the F&B business, when do you know? Like when do you really know that it's going to work out for you or it's working out for you? How do you know that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I don't know if the answer is
Look, you
never.
must have a feeling, right? Oh, this is working out for me.
Oh, that. I mean, you're getting that in small doses as you get along. So, I mean, in D3 when we started, week one was crazy because there was a photo exhibition going on there. Mario Testino or something was happening there, which had a lot of people there for that. A lot of crew
Right.
were there for that. And then the crew said, can you cater the lunch for us? And so we were kind of catering the lunch for this crew, and also we were open to the people working in D3, and it was us and I believe one other place at the time. So then you're like, oh, it's busy and it's going well, and we're getting some good feedback and we're getting some bad feedback, and but it's busy. And then I think like there's just moments along the way. So the cash counter where I am now used to be facing the car park. Now I'm like facing building 7, but it used to be facing the car park on the side closer to the car park. And I remember in that first year and a half, 2 years, like at some point, I would look to my left and there's a window, and people would come, they'd look inside, see that it's full, and then they'd leave. And they kept it. I come see it's full, leave, kept it. And every lunchtime. And I mean, of course, that's a huge boost to your confidence. It's a huge boost to say, like, this is working. But working in a restaurant isn't just being full. You know, when you look at your P&L, there's a lot of costs on there. Um, I think in general, people underestimate your top line revenue and they overestimate your bottom line profit. So you're actually making more money top line than people think you are, but you're making less money bottom line than people think you are. Because what they can't estimate is just the cost of operating a business in F&B. The cost of operating a business is very, very high. And there's all these small costs that add up.
Keep adding it.
Yeah, so everyone thinks, oh, the rent is really high, right? And it's not about the rent. I mean, the rent is...
What else is there then?
I mean, your top cost is staff cost, food cost, rent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other costs. There's packaging, there's the chemicals to, you know, clean the floors and all that stuff. There's pest control, grease trap cleaning. When you pay staff salaries, there's also their visa costs. There's their meals. There's their medical insurance, their uniforms. Many, many costs. I mean, a lot of costs that might be 1,000 dirhams a month, 2,000 dirhams a month. You pay for the POS. You know, if you have a cloud-based system, you're paying monthly.
Right.
And, you know, individually, if you look at them, no, none of them are big costs. None of them are huge costs. But when you add them up collectively, like they can really add up to a significant amount.
Right. Okay. So that's actually a very good
So I mean, I'm not saying like
101 for
we're
everyone.
not doing well or we weren't
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
well.
yeah.
We were doing fine.
Yes.
But my point is, just because a restaurant is full doesn't mean it's doing well financially.
Right.
It's not always the
Yeah.
case, you know.
So that depends on the people managing the business as well, right? Because they have to make sure that the profitability of the business also sustains, and that's how it should be. So from outside, it might be looking there could be a different story, but when you look at the books, the
Yeah.
story would be completely
Yeah, I mean, you want to have like healthy ratios of rent to sales. You want to have a healthy ratio of food cost and staff cost. Like, I mean, those three are the big ones you want to get right.
right.
So, for example, like, you know, staff cost shouldn't, in our case, shouldn't be more than 30% all in.
Right.
Food cost shouldn't be more than 25, 30% all in. And then rent 10%. So if you can get those right, then the other stuff you also like, they're still going to be another 15, 20% of just random costs that it's like all added up. But you'll end up, I think, in this industry, you need to generate a lot of sales from a relatively small number of people. That's why people who are working in hospitality, they're working long hours and they're tired and they, you know, they're hustling because, you know, restaurants can't afford to hire, just hire 10 more people and everyone can work this.
Right.
I mean, yeah, if you could afford it, or if the consumer wants to pay significantly more for the food that they're having, it's doable. But, you know, everyone's competing on price.
Right.
Everyone's trying to look for something that's value for money. I'm not saying they're looking for cheap food, but they're saying, you know, there's so much I'm willing to pay for lunch. So if you're trying to stay within those limits, there is pressure. There is a financial pressure to operate the business with fewer staff.
Which brings me to my next question. Do you believe in competition, or do you think that there is competition?
Of course, I mean, I think that people are choosing to come to you when they come to you, and they're choosing you not only over other restaurants, but they're choosing you over ordering on their
Wow.
phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there is competition.
And you don't order online, right? You don't deliver
We
online.
do, we do.
Oh, you do.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
But
Okay.
we're only on one platform, Deliveroo.
No, right. Okay.
But yeah, we do.
Okay.
But yeah, of course, there's competition. I mean, everything is. People don't come to us because they like us. They come to us because they think that what we offer is where they want to spend their money. You know, whether it's the food they like or the vibe or a mixture of everything that we offer. Yeah, we're competing against everyone all the time.
What's your favorite restaurant? You can choose not to answer it, but what's your favorite restaurant apart from One Life?
I'll answer based on where I spend the most money, like, or eat the most meals outside. I mean, I eat most of lunch every day in One Life, every weekday in One Life. So I definitely have most of my meals there. Where do I have most of my meals outside? I quite like Meeting Room. You know Meeting Room?
No, I haven't.
They have a spot in Neighborhood Food Hall in Motor City.
All right.
They also have one in I think they started in Karama.
Right. Okay.
So I like their food. It's an Indian place.
Okay.
It's I like their. Where else do I like? Um, I'd say that's probably the most. I really like quinoa.
Okay.
So my kids love quinoa,
Mhm.
and I really like quinoa. In D3, I went recently with Kelvin actually to Yui. It's one of our neighbors in the building next to us.
I've been there. Yeah.
Yui is very nice for ramen. What else do I like? I love our pizza, but if I want something that's a bit more a different style, I
Right.
like Pitfire.
Right.
But I generally like Neapolitan pizza more, but Pitfire is more like an American style. Um, actually, I don't know what style it is, but whatever it is, it's good.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say that if I'm going for burgers, I quite like Maxi as
Okay.
a burger spot. Um, yeah,
All right. Okay.
it's not a sophisticated taste at
Right.
all.
I
Like
get you.
it's
I
very like
understood that. Yeah. But okay. Coming back to One Life. So is One Life more about food or vibe? Because I
it's a
found
tough
both.
one.
Yeah. Because as a
Yeah,
customer, I like the food. I like the vibe.
yeah.
But to you, like it's the food or the
I
vibe?
think it's. I think the food has to. It has to. I mean, one of my favorite compliments I ever got was. I mean, this was a term I didn't know. Maybe my age. I'm a bit older, but someone was like, "Yeah, the food at One Life always slaps." Do you know this expression,
No.
slaps?
No.
I mean, I assumed it was something good, and I guess it was something good. And that was a huge compliment for me. Look, I think at the end of the day, as a business, the food has to be, top notch.
Mm.
And I think again, the vibe could be the best vibe in the world, but I'll have my coffee, and then I'll go eat somewhere else, and then the business doesn't survive. The business doesn't exist if we're not able to sell food. Um, but so yeah, I'd say it's food first, and then vibe second. But I think I've also had people say to me like, "We love your food, but we come here for the staff,"
Right.
or "We love your food, but we come here for the bike."
Right.
So maybe different people will say different things.
Right. A few episodes earlier, I mean, I did one episode with the owners of a restaurant chain. It's called Booker Cafe. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. They started with Karama and then they had food chains across different locations. And what happened? Like we were discussing what stuff, and they're also pretty, I would say, successful, and they have done it really well for themselves. Um, they told me one thing like in UAE, a lot of there's a lot of failed stories than success stories. in F&B.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah, must be. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it must be. Like, it isn't. I don't know, but I would imagine that that's
Right.
correct.
Because like this is what everybody says. Like as we started with the conversation as well. Like because F&B is a little brutal and
Yeah.
it really tests you over the time. And that's what they told me as well. And uh, but yeah, I mean, if you don't have the answer to that, it's
No, I mean, I would say like even if we look at D3 where we've been the longest, I mean, I know locations in D3 that are on the fourth restaurant, or I don't know if there's somewhere that's on the more than the fourth, but like, you know what I mean? Like the same location started as one thing and then it became something else, then became something else, like something failed, like so. And I don't think it's about D3 necessarily. It's about, F&B is an industry that people are quite optimistic about, right? You think like, oh, I want to do this, and you're excited and we're passionate. I think many people are passionate about food, so that passion, translates to I want to start a business in food. And then you say like, okay, this place is good. I like that place, and I can do the same thing. So there's that optimism. I think like pushes people into it. But it's highly competitive, and unless you're really doing it at a very good standard and a fair price point, it's not easy to it's not easy. I mean, yeah, I guess it's you do see a lot of places that don't
right.
survive.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a business, and
Yeah.
you either you either hit the I would say either it slaps or
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Um, even about about One Life, the exposure, is it? How do you get the exposure? Is it because of word of mouth? Is it because of something online, like on Instagram, exposure over Instagram?
I mean, I don't think we're that exposed as a brand. I don't think like,
Hmm.
and for a long time, I think the average Dubai resident wouldn't know us unless they work in D3
Hmm.
or they live near us in JVC.
Right.
And now, I mean, last year, 2025, we opened the grow house in Al Sakal, and the design of it and the concept of it was quite different. And I think that kind of, it got noticed. It got noticed a lot more than I'd say the other two branches. So sometimes it's just the design that's novel that people look at. But I think I view One Life in a different way. Like I view it as it's the I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say something too controversial.
No,
One Life is like the dependable place. Like that's not, you talk about vibe and stuff, but I don't think it's the most exciting place, or people aren't like, we're going there for lunch or we're going there for breakfast. But they're like, you know what? I know that when I go there, I'm gonna eat well.
and I'm
So
not going to be disappointed.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing, right? So you can go wherever you want, go other places, but
Right.
come back to us. Like that's the way we view it. It's like
Right.
no worries, someone has a crazy offer. Go try it, get it out of your system, but come back to us. Like I think we like being that dependable place. We call it like everyday food, everyday people. And that's the objective from our point of view. We're not trying to get you to come in once. We're not trying to get like 1 million people to come to us once. Maybe we're trying to get like, 1,000 people to come to us 1,000 times. So it's a different, like we want to be your regular spot. And then when you look in terms of exposure, like I wouldn't say we're a viral brand. If you're talking about exposure from like
Yes, like from Instagram or
yeah, I mean, I think over 11 years we built 32,000
yeah,
followers,
32K.
which isn't like, it's not 500,000, it's not a million, it's 32,000. But I'm assuming they're all real people with real accounts. Like we never bought
Right.
anyone, and it's a
You
good
never did
number.
any paid promotion.
No, we did paid ads
Right.
on Instagram mainly and
Right.
Facebook for a while.
Right.
But I also think like most of it's organic. Like most of it is organic reach. For a while, I think it bothered me a little bit that like people don't really want to post from One Life, and it's hard to kind of grow the brand when people aren't sharing and posting. But then that kind of changed. I think nowadays there's more people posting from it. But I think the reason that they don't or they didn't is it's just a normal place. Like it's not a, people will post something that's like extraordinary. And I'm not saying like for me, One Life is extraordinary. I love the place. I choose to eat my meals there, even if I didn't own it. Because also the other thing is like for me, every decision I made, everything I built is for me.
Hmm.
It's, no offense, but it's not for you. It's not for anyone.
Hmm.
It's for me. So I've done it in a way that I want to spend time there. Um, Even so, it's not extraordinary for the average person who's looking for content to go on their Instagram feed. Maybe Al Sekal more so than the other two branches because people like to go to the top of the stairs and then they get this like bird's eye view of the whole space, and that seemed to be like a very popular shop for a while. Um, but yeah, in general, it's not a super. It's never been designed to be Instagrammable.
All right. I mean, it's pronounced. Oh, the Al Circle.
Al is Instagrammable, but it was never designed
Right,
to
right,
be.
right, right,
Um,
right.
it was always designed. And speaking of design, I'll give a shout out to Fadi Sareddin who designed all three of them.
Okay.
But for me, what I respect about Fadi's design is there's no gimmicks. I mean, we're a brand that doesn't really like gimmicks, but he's able to capture a feeling, right?
Mm.
So it's about how do you want people to feel when they come here? And I think, you want them to feel welcome. You want them to feel that it's a warm environment. And so I think he's able to capture that. And that's the priority. We never, when we're briefing him or talking about a location, said, make sure it's Instagrammable or put a corner here that's, people will post about. It's just kind of like make people feel comfortable in the space. And maybe they're so comfortable that they don't want to pull out their phone and like film it,
Right.
which is not a negative thing. Like I would rather be big in the real world than to be big on Instagram.
Instagram. Right. Right. So, what's the future for One Life now? Are you going
I
to open
mean,
more? Planning to expand more?
not really immediately. I think that there's so much room for improvement with what we're doing in almost every aspect. And it's not easy. Now we're at a point where, to get 1%, 2% improvement in what, whether it's the service or the food, it's challenging, it's challenging to do it. But I think the real opportunity for us is to really build a reputation as a place that's consistently delivers, or slaps, like that person said. Like there's a huge value in that. And I think I don't want to get sidetracked to say, okay, we're doing really well in 3, let's do 6, and we'll scale it to 10.
Right.
Because it would be, I mean, tragedy is probably a heavy word to use, but I would feel very sad if we take something like, let's say Kelvin and I are the ones running it. So we have this thing that I think is quite beautiful. Like people are able to experience something nice in these locations and they're able to experience good food in these locations. Um, they have a dialogue with our team. I would say what we have and what we're holding is quite beautiful. And I wouldn't want to dilute that and turn it into something hyper commercial. Yesterday or today, I can't remember now. I asked someone, do you see One Life as a chain? And I was very happy that they said no, because I think for me, that's a fear. I don't want to, I think One Life has a value at not being a chain. But once it becomes a chain, it's different. It's not the same thing. And so I would be hesitant to say, yes, we want to expand. But then the flip side of that is you have a small place like JVC, where it's a small community cafe, and it really serves that community. And you say, well, should we do a small one in another community? Um, so those are two kind of opposing views that I hold at the same time, because on one side you're like, if we're able to give people something that they value, why not do it? But I'm also not sure that we're able to, because our management team is very thin.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How do you maintain the similarities between all the branches?
I mean, first of all, we're not in any other city. We're not in Abu Dhabi. We're not in
Right.
another city that we have to go to. And I think today I went to 2 branches. Yesterday I went to 3 branches. So it's like, I mean, I went usually because I have something to do there. And a lot of the people are people that were, so the person managing JVC started in D3. The person managing Al Sekal, he started in D3. Even the assistant manager in both those locations started in D3. So we're not like you kind of, this is the thing, right? This is why it takes time. It takes time to build a culture, a way of working, what our values are as a business. And it's not about like putting it on a piece of paper and making everyone memorize it, but it's about like showing them day in, day out. But they're able to then take that to different locations, and they're able to hopefully, keep that standard going across the different locations. But doing it on 3 is different to doing it on 10,
Right.
because then 10, I have to hire all these people,
Right.
and I'm going to be like, learn the culture. I don't know anyone. Like, nobody knows the culture. Who's going to teach me?
Right. So just you said that. So people who worked in D3 are working in
Yeah.
JVC, and it's like a mix now.
Yeah.
That means your retention is also great.
Yeah. I mean, what is good retention? Like 10,
Like,
10, 15%
I don't
turnover?
know.
I'd say it's generally good. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
good. I mean, it is good.
And no, that's what I was going to ask you. Like if people are staying with you, and
Yeah.
if you have people working D3, and you're like, you can rely on them when you're opening a
Yeah.
new branch in JVC, let's say. So how does this work? Like, and advice for people who are managing people as well.
Look, I think the number one thing I would say, and people used to say, how do you get so lucky that you find these people? I think there's good people around, right? But if you treat a good person badly, why would I want to give my effort to you? Why would I come to work motivated? Like, I can't motivate anyone. I've always said to them, it's not my job to motivate you. Like, I'll try to treat you fairly. I'll try to listen to you when you need me to listen to you. I'll try to help you when I can help you. And that's basically what I can do. And I try to create a work environment that's a nice place to come to work. And I think they value that. And then they come back and they stay with us. And sometimes people leave, then they text after 6 months or 1 year, can I come back? And yeah, I think that's the key to retention. I think trying to exploit someone or treat them badly, you can't then ask the question, well, why is this person not motivated, or why is everyone leaving me? I mean, I say this and maybe everyone will resign tomorrow. I don't know. But in general, like, I try to be fair with them as much as I can. I'm sure I've made many mistakes over the last 10 years, and I've upset many of the employees on different occasions. But for the most part, I think I've been
You
okay.
look like a person who gets angry or who gets upset over someone. Do you?
I think I get frustrated quite a bit.
Right.
I think I take work quite. No, I mean, look, I have fun at work and I enjoy it, but I think I'm constantly aware of the fact that just because things are good today doesn't mean they're good tomorrow. I think there's no loyalty from consumers, nor should there be. And what I mean by that is like, if I serve you something that you don't like once, twice, fine, don't leave. Like there should be loyalty. But if 3 times or 4 times that happens, why should you be loyal to me? I mean, you can be loyal to me and say, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. I'm going to this restaurant next to you. But you don't owe me loyalty. Like no one owes us, hey guys, we're one life. You loved us. Yeah, I loved you, but now I love someone else. Like, so I think being aware of the fact that nothing is guaranteed, and that keeps me kind of a little bit on edge, and it keeps me putting pressure on the team, because I feel like our team has this kind of impression that we're doing great, and we are doing great, but we're only doing great because we don't take our foot off the gas, and because we're focused that, what's the expression? You're only as good as your last meal. This is what they say to, I think, chefs. You're only as good as your last meal.
Right.
So I try not to get angry. I think fear is a terrible motivator. I don't want my staff to be afraid of me. I think aggression and anger are not good ways of getting what you want. But I am capable of getting angry, and I have gotten angry, and I have raised my voice. I try not to, because in my life experience, not just one life, in my life experience, I don't think getting angry has ever benefited me. So I try to be kind of pragmatic and say, well, let me do the things that I believe will get me better results. And of course, like if someone makes a mistake, to attack them or to belittle them, it's the wrong thing to do. It's not going to get you the result that you want.
Yeah. I mean, this one really slapped. I mean, I'm going to take this one. I hope you're using this, this slap term
Slap, no,
correctly.
I'm told to slap, but oh yeah, maybe, I don't know.
No, I'm saying this one really slapped. I mean, it was like
like you felt that.
Yeah, I feel that, right?
Yeah.
I hope you are using it the right way. I'm
I
not
hope
sure.
so too.
Right. Okay. What does success mean to you? And to you, and what does success mean for one life?
To me personally, I think success has nothing or very little to do with one life. I think success for me is being able to leave work at a time that I can spend some time with my kids. That's it. I mean, I don't need. I need money, like everyone needs money, of course, but I don't need money beyond
A certain point.
a certain point.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with my own health, like my weight and stuff. So I think success for me is just being healthy and being able to spend time with my family, and that's it. I try to, I try not to be defined by one life. Like I don't want to be the owner of one life. Like I think there's more to my personality than being the owner of a restaurant. So I try not to let that kind of like be my identity. And I don't think it's my identity. I mean, maybe some people, maybe you don't know me outside of one life.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people don't know me out of one life. But people who know me outside of one life, I hope that they know me just as who I am, not as the owner of a restaurant. For one life, I'd say success is just longevity. I mean, really, it's longevity. It's not measured, for me, I don't think it's measured in dirhams, it's measured in time. It's are you able to, like restaurants do close when they don't make money. So a restaurant that stays open is by definition successful, unless it has a billionaire owner who's just like willing to lose millions every year, which I'm not that. So if it can sustain itself and stay open and not drop the standards, then it's successful.
Absolutely.
It's creating value for people enough that they're choosing to come and spend their money there. And as long as it continues to do that, I think that's success
All right.
for One Life.
I'm going to end this podcast with one last thing.
Yeah.
So I visited One Life. Today's that?
Okay.
I think I visited Monday this week.
D3.
Yeah, D3.
Yeah.
And this is what I got from one of your employees.
Yes. You were with your laptop?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They asked you to move upstairs?
Yes, they asked you to
Yeah.
go upstairs. What's the why? Like, what's the story behind this? I didn't ask them, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask him the podcast about it.
I mean, I think that so what it is, I'll explain to anyone. It's saying we love seeing you work from our space, but during busy times,
I'm going to
please
put
move
that photo
upstairs.
on the podcast. Yeah, of course.
So, well, I'll add to it. So JVC and Al Sekal, we don't allow laptops on weekends. So on a weekend, you cannot take your laptop to JVC or Al Sekal.
You're not allowed. Like, if I get my laptop,
No,
I'm not
yes,
allowed.
We tell you not allowed. I was talking to someone about this today, and the reason for it is this: we're a restaurant,
Yes.
and when on our busiest times, so in D3 it's Monday to Friday lunch, in JVC Al Sekal it's weekends. On our busiest times, for people to come in, they want a table. We're 4 people. We want to sit on a table. We want to have food. And there's one guy sitting on a table of 4 with his laptop, or one girl. And we're saying, sorry, we don't have a space for you. It's just, it doesn't make sense to us. There's a financial element, but for me, the main driver is not the financial element. It's just the fact that it's not logical. It's not logical that me and my 3 friends who came here for lunch cannot sit and have lunch in this restaurant, not co-working space, in this restaurant, because someone's on their laptop.
Right.
And now the person on the laptop will say, but I had my lunch here. Okay, thank you so much. You had your lunch here. You're one person on a table of 4. You had one lunch, but you occupied it for the whole of lunch. Now, in lunch, I can turn the table 3 times. And again, yes, there's a financial element to it. But apart from the financial, if I can turn the table 3 times for lunch, that's 12 people who can eat at my restaurant versus one person on a laptop. We try to be as, accommodating as we can. So in D3, we say during lunch, please go upstairs. I mean, there's a lot of space up there. But in Circle and JVC, we can't do it. And it's not logical that a restaurant cannot seat guests who come to dine because someone's on the laptop. We got a 1-star review on JVC. I think, I don't remember word for word, but it was something like, we get 1-star reviews from people who say they asked me to move with my laptop also. But this person said, I came here for lunch. Every table was occupied with a laptop, so I left.
No
1 star.
way.
And I replied, I said, I agree with you, 100%. Like, you're right. And that person who wrote that review, like, yeah, you're right to be frustrated. If I go to a restaurant to eat,
You're right.
and I can't eat, and I look around the table, and everyone's sitting one, like, yeah, there are co-working spaces, and they charge you for that. And we could, but we don't want to. Why? Because I don't want to own a co-working business.
Right.
We're completely like, come with your laptop when it's not busy, use it, buy one coffee, buy nothing. No one comes and tells you, hey, you have to spend 50 dirhams an hour or 50 dirhams every half hour to sit here. I mean, in D3, if you have like a mega booking, like a group came with, I think, 30 people.
Right.
And we're like, no, if you're coming 30 people to occupy the space just with laptops, bringing like other drinks from outside, it's just not, like, we can't stay in business. Like, we can do it, but we won't have a business. And at the end of the day, it's our job to, like I said, success is sustaining the business. So then we have to make policies that are there to sustain the business.
I mean, it's a good message. It's not just with your restaurant. It should be with any other restaurant. Like people, should
And this is
understand
why
this.
co-working spaces charge you money.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't charge you, oh, buy one coffee and sit all day. They say to you, I don't know, how much is a co-working space?
And can start like 150 an hour, 100.
Really?
Yeah, it does. 75. Like depends on the
Quite
co-working space.
expensive.
Depends on the co-working space.
Maybe we should get into co-working. Yeah. So we that's why we had that. I mean, that's a policy it annoys a lot of people.
I mean, it didn't annoy me. I'll be very honest with you because I didn't remember his name. He came in and was like, "I have a message for you." I was in the East. I ordered the coffee and I was working. And he said, "I have a message for you." And I looked at his face, but he then put the card on the table. So like I read the card and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like I'm here for like 20 minutes." He said, "No, it's fine. Stay here, but like after a few minutes, if you can like go upstairs, you might be busy right now." So they were very kind. Like he was very kind to me. Yeah.
I mean, I think
was
the
very
team
polite.
tries to, but it's also it's not the easiest thing to communicate, especially if the person they're communicating to gets aggressive or defensive,
Right.
or like I think wait, this also happened. I'll tell you another thing that happened. Someone came in during a very busy time in Ansakal, not this weekend, the weekend before, Coast Arts Fest. They came in, took a group of people, and they just bought their food from outside to sit and eat
At One Life.
at One Life. No problem, you can make that mistake. When they were told, sorry, we don't allow outside food or drinks, they got very angry and left and said, I've never heard of such a policy in my life. I mean, how have you never heard of such a policy in your life? Like, what do we sell? We don't sell the air you breathe. We sell food and the beverage. So if you're coming in and bringing your outside food, like, it's, I think, pretty normal that we would not be accepting of that. We're not trying to ruin anyone's day, but it's also like, I mean, we've got to pay for the lights and the gas and the salaries. Like, we do that by selling food and beverage. Like, that's it. So it's pretty simple. So yeah, people do get annoyed.
And not something that's weird. I mean, people should understand this. Like it's business and it's a restaurant, and you cannot go to a restaurant with another restaurant's food and eat.
I think it's just, I mean, I don't also blame people. I think it is what it is. Like, sometimes we annoy people, and sometimes they're very right to be annoyed with us. Like, we make mistakes, and our staff might communicate something the wrong way, and they're right to be annoyed with us. But sometimes I feel we just have to accept it and say sorry to disappoint you.
I mean, you can't make everyone happy.
No, it's very difficult.
It's very difficult. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast. It was an amazing conversation. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, very much. Thank you so
Thank
much
you so
for having
much.
me.
Yeah.